This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Howdy, there he is. There was a comment already on the chat board. Normally there are some negatives, but this one says Omar the GOAT. How about that, baby? There you go. That's how you want to start the segment right there.
I'm
Omar
used to the negatives.
I know, but we're both used to the negatives.
I'm more comfortable in the negatives.
You feed off of it, right? Is that what I'm hearing? You feed off of it?
Not really. I don't really have anything to prove to anybody. So I just, I'm used to the criticism, uncomfortable by the praise.
By the way, what did you think of the comments from Chris Sims? Did you see those comments?
I think they were old, or did he adjust them?
No, these were new. These were new,
fresh ones.
Yeah, this was like fresh. Like he. I guess you didn't see it then, right?
No,
is that what it is?
I Trevor Siemian, but I heard that like 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago.
Well, no, I know he's not. He's been kind of a Tua detractor. Let me.
Okay.
Are you just dumb or are you mean? Which one is it? The guy hurt his finger halfway through the first quarter. And again, where I'd argue, and then see, this is where I'm going to sound like a Tua hater. Listen, the whole world can throw the ball 5 yards over the middle. You don't need to draft the quarterback at number 5 in the draft to throw the ball 5 or 6 yards over the middle. Or like Logan Ryan said, run to the left and throw the ball 1 yard into the flat. I mean, it's a real thing. So, I mean, you put Taysom Hill in that situation, yeah. But they asked Taysom Hill to throw the ball 50 yards down the field, 40 yards down the field, 30 yards down the field, things they don't even ask Tua. So idiots on Twitter, shut up. You're an idiot. Get off Twitter and learn something else. Watch something else. You're an idiot. Dumb or you mean? Which one is it?
So there you go.
Hurt his finger.
Wait a minute. Okay, there you go. So and obviously the Tuanons like myself obviously are not happy with those stupid ass comments because he doesn't just throw 5 yards. Logan Ryan learned that after he ran his mouth. They put together a nice video of him getting burned several times 20 yards downfield.
Didn't Logan Ryan run his mouth after the game, or did
right after the game he said it, and then he apologized yesterday for the comments because he was just being a smartass. He meant no disrespect. He was really cordial to Tua. I will give him. For those of you that don't know, Logan apologized for his comments yesterday. Let me read his comments to at least be fair, because I thought he at least, was stand up about what he said and kind of backtracked from it. So he apologized, and this is what he said to Tua. I want to apologize to Tua. I didn't mean disrespect. He goes, I made a lighthearted comment about me playing quarterback. He said, I think he's a good player. He's humble. He approaches the game the right way, and he made game-winning plays to beat us, and they won the game. I'm not a sore loser. I don't hate on players in the league. I have a lot of respect for players in this league. I've been in this league, and he's doing it the right way. I wish him the best. I want him to know there's no disrespect and nor any bad beef there. Just a comment that went the wrong way. I was trying to be funny. It wasn't funny, and I don't want to disrespect him. So
here's the thing. His initial comments were, I was a left-handed quarterback like Tua, and I could throw it 2 yards.
Yeah, he said, Ryan said that he was trying to be funny because he played high school quarterback. A lot like Tua, I was a lefty. I could throw 2 yards to the left. So, yes, that was his quote. But, again, he was just trying to be kind of a smart ass.
We're digging way too deep here. Like, okay, he says he's a lefty like Tua, and he can throw it 2 yards. Did he say like Tua? I guess people.
Are we digging too deep, or do I see this with any other quarterback in the league?
Man,
That's my point. That's my whole point there. Like
whatever.
Mac Jones throws 3 passes, and if Tua would have done it, brother, it would have broken the freaking internet. You know what I mean? And by the way, again, let me remind people, Belichick's not a genius. Don Shula won a Super Bowl the same way with Bob Greasy throwing 6 passes, because once you have a monster line and 3 backs, he said, why am I going to pass? I'm just going to shove the ball down your throat, and you're not going to stop it. So that's nothing new, by the way. That was done 50 years ago before Belichick. Just for the hell of it, just want to throw things out there.
I think we're all being hypercritical and hypersensitive of a guy who owns a 10-7 record, who is one of the 3 quarterbacks in the last 3 draft cycles that owns a winning record. Joe Burrow doesn't own one. Trevor Lawrence doesn't own one. You get Justin Herbert doesn't own one. It is what it is. You could twist and argue about his style of play and his style of offense. I'm sorry, but I have friends who are coaches in the college and high school ranks, and they go through coaching tutorials and all kinds of things and lectures and sessions, and they've done a lot of that stuff with the RPO offense. And you know who's the player that people are teaching the RPO offense with? It's Tua Tagovailoa, not Matt.
By the way, do you know who they used to also slam for short passes all the time? Tom Brady. Remember that? A few years back. Oh, Tom Brady's throwing short passes all the time. Dude, he's doing whatever the defense gives him. He'll take it, and then he'll hit you over the top.
Let's not compare. I don't want to compare.
It's not a comparison.
You mentioned Tom Brady and Tua in the same sentence, and
I'll mention Joe Montana too. He killed you with short passes also at times. There were games where they don't have to go deep all the damn time. You know what I'm saying? Because
you know what, we can make excuses and praise
that's what their offense called for. It's not out of desperation that's all Tua can do in this offense. He's limited. That's by choice.
When Tua and I say this, and I love Tua. I know who he is as a quarterback. I'm comfortable with who he is as a quarterback. But when he produces a top 15 offense, we can sing his praises and serenade and makes little songs about him. And right now he's being
easy. Just get him a line in a running game and real coaches. He'll easily produce a top 15 offense.
Yeah,
it's not his fault. I heard you talk about that on with Hyde, and I disagree with you on that one. It's not his fault they're not a top offense, dude. He's not the one that's not the productive one. It's the offensive line that's not productive.
It's everybody.
The running game that's not productive. It's the coaches that aren't productive.
It's everybody but him, right?
No. Gesicki and Gesicki and Waddle do their job along with
Gesicki doesn't do his job well. Listen, Tua.
You got to get off the blocking stuff already, bro.
I'm sorry. He doesn't play He doesn't play more than half the game now.
Well, that's because they're idiots. I can't answer for idiots. Okay, just because Dolphin offensive coaches are freaking morons, I have no. I can't answer.
You give Gesicki to that would turn him into this elite player that you think he is.
Any great offensive coach would make him
Sean
a
Payton.
Star. Sean, Andy Reid, you name it, bro. I'll even give the guy in Arizona a little love. Kingsbury, he would get Gesicki because when you have an offensive weapon like that, it's hard to cover that dude. So if you have a good quarterback that's accurate, I'm just gonna burn you left and right with him.
No, it's not really hard to cover. No disrespect to. I'm not covering him with a linebacker. I might cover him with a safety, and I really can just cover him with a cornerback because
he'll catch you with one hand over the top on all those chumps.
Okay, all right. He's got to get open first.
He doesn't have to. That's the beauty. He doesn't have to be open. Omar, I guess you're not watching Mike Gesicki. He doesn't have to be open to catch passes, my man. And most of his highlights are in traffic. They're not. He's not by himself with 3 yards of separation.
Explain this to me. If he's such a good in traffic jump ball catcher, why isn't he a weapon in the red zone?
again, I can't answer stupidity.
Two sets of coaches.
Why doesn't Mac Hollins play? I can't answer stupidity.
All right. Mac Hollins
Why do you start Malcolm Brown at the beginning of the season over Myles Gaskin? I can't answer stupidity. Why were you dead set on trying to play Brissett over Tua? I can't answer stupidity. Why did you stick with Austin Jackson left tackle for so long before you moved him to left guard?
Options.
I can't answer stupidity. I can't explain stupidity. And Flo and his offensive coaches are loaded with stupidity.
I'm not going to defend. I'm not going to defend them.
You can't defend anything I said because everything.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. The offense was trash with Jacoby Brissett as a quarterback. The offense and the offensive line got better with Tua Tagovailoa as a quarterback. What team?
Because he reads and reacts quickly.
Huh? Yeah.
He reads and reacts quickly.
But that was his strength. That's the reason you drafted him.
Well, it's the NFL, baby. You better read and react quickly in the NFL, or your ass is going to be on the floor like Kevin Bacon in Animal House.
And we can argue. We can argue about weaponry and talents. It's Jalen Waddle. Really, Mike Gesicki can easily be taken out of games, and teams have taken him out of games, and it's all good. I get. Let me. And we keep going back and forth with this Mike Gesicki song and dance and bro, they play two tight ends 60% of the time. Mike isn't even on the field when they play two tight ends.
Can't answer
for stupidity. Yes. Okay.
Can't answer for stupidity, bro. Why does
But it's the RPO offense, so you never know.
Hold on. Waddle, Gesicki, and Hollins.
It's the RPO offense, so you never know when it's going to be a run play. And with Mike, you can't put him on the line, so you can't play him in the two tight end package. He can only play out wide. He can only play the flex because of his limitations.
Yeah, and because the RPO doesn't work nearly as much because your run really isn't a threat. Those linebackers are going to flood the middle of the field, which makes it a lot harder. But if you don't play Mike Gesicki, who is a difference maker in the middle of the field because he could go up in the air, and with an accurate quarterback like Tua, dude, Gesicki, Oronde Gadsden, you can do a lot of the same things that you used to do with Oronde. You could throw it to him, and he's covered, but as long as you put it up there and Tua's incredibly accurate, Gesicki will come down with the ball. And the defender, who obviously can't jump nearly as high as Gesicki, will end up getting burned every single time. I'm just saying, dude. I mean, I've watched him catch it in traffic over and over and over again. Come on, man. Go look at the highlights. It's like you're forgetting that he catches it in traffic.
Listen, I'm not going to turn this into a Gesicki diss fest. Gesicki is what he's going to be. He's going to be paid by somebody. I don't know if it's going to be them. They clearly would rather have a full service tight end, as would I. It makes more sense, especially in this offense where you don't know whether you're going to run or pass at the line of scrimmage. And now you're at the point where, and this is what I give them credit for, they don't put players in positions where they will be struggle. So Gesicki can't play in anything other than he's now a big split end receiver. And I'd rather a good split end receiver. I would rather go get a good receiver as opposed to playing.
Okay, but that's not what's going on right now. You can't just go, hey, let's go to the transfer portal in the NFL. Let's just bring somebody.
Free agency.
You have what you have right now.
The discussion is
if you're a smart offensive staff, Gesicki, Jalen Waddle, and Mac Hollins would never leave the field.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a fundamental question. Let me ask you a fundamental question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Bears wide receiver. The name escapes
me.
Allen Robinson. You had a big heart on for him last year, okay?
I love him.
Okay. I'm going to give one player $13 million a year APY. Is it going to be Allen Robinson or is it going to be Mike Gesicki? who benefits this team better?
Oh God,
Thank
I'm
you.
probably going to go Gesicki because I can draft another wide receiver.
What?
I already have Gesicki on my roster.
What?
So I'm going to pay him, and I'm going to draft a wide receiver, and I'm going to save me my free agent money. That's what I'm going to do. I need a wide receiver.
You're gonna have to pay one, so you're gonna give it to Gesicki.
Yeah, I'd rather
You
go
have
draft.
$13 million to spend on one big ticket item. Are you gonna
I'd
give it to Gesicki, or are you gonna give it to Allen Robinson?
I'd rather draft a young receiver. That way, I have Waddle and I have Gesicki, and
even though you already have a young tight end.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That I have two tight ends now that I can develop with Hunter and Gesicki, so I can attack you with Tua with two tight ends. I love a two tight end set. I get Waddle and I draft another young receiver, and I save myself the heartache of the free agent money now. And so I'd rather
but it's still money. It's still money.
I'd rather keep the tight end that I've developed, and I think he's one of the best pass catching tight ends in the NFL. So I'd rather keep a guy that I already have and I know. You know what I mean?
I go the complete opposite direction. We have a philosophical difference.
I spend my $15 million on an offensive lineman is what I spend it on. I go get me
that wasn't a question. It's
no, but that's what I would buy in free agency. I'm not buying a wide receiver in free agency.
Okay, so you're buying a wide receiver pretending to be a tight end. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm going to buy a tight end. He's a big body guy. He adds another dimension to your offense. I think you can find a wide receiver in the draft. The draft is always loaded with wide receivers. If you know what you're doing, which the Dolphins do, they found Jalen Waddle, they can find other guys.
At six, name me the last wide receiver they found that's not a first-round pick. Or Jarvis Landry, second round.
I'm only worried about this front office. I don't worry about the past.
I'm referring to this front office.
I'm worried about these 3 years. They have done an excellent job.
3 years. Okay.
That's all I worry about. That's all I measure.
Excellent job.
That's all I measure. I'm not worried about what happened.
Excellent job doing what? Excellent job doing what? Excellent job doing what?
Drafting.
Okay.
All the players are developing. The only reason they don't develop on the O-line is because they have no coaching, but everybody else is developing. The only two guys that aren't developing, they don't play. So we won't find out about Iggy until they play him, and we won't find out about Hunter until they play him. But everybody else is developing on defense. On offense, your three weapons are developing. Tua's just fine. Gesicki's fine, and so is Waddle.
They didn't draft Gesicki. Don't give him credit for that.
They did. They drafted him 3 years ago, Omar.
The 4 years ago. No, this is
this is third year, right? Isn't it?
This is fourth. He's a free agent.
Whatever. Okay, so even better then. The two guys on offense that they drafted, weapons wise, they're excelling.
Oh, okay, Myles Gaskin. That's fair.
That too. So no, I didn't even throw Myles Gaskin in there, but for a seventh rounder, he's been terrific with no line. You give that kid a line.
They've been excelling with the 28th offense in the NFL. Gotcha.
I mean, you can't, again, I can't answer stupidity. I mean, you put the Three Stooges at offense. I can't answer that. That's not that the front where the front office screwed up right now is what it seems like is hiring Flo now. Because he turned on them and he's turned into McDaniels and
I disagree with you on the hiring of Flo. If we look at what the turnaround is and the players that are improving and the defense that's improving, Flo clearly has saved his job.
Probably.
He's
unfortunately
not probably. He has. And he's clearly outperforming the GM in terms of duties and responsibilities, because the GM's job, what's holding this team back? Talent on the offensive line. Yeah, you argue it is coaching. It's both.
He wanted to get rid of the three veterans in Karras, who was helping New England now. He wanted to get rid of Flo. Dude, what GM wants to pay Flowers and Van Noy and then release them the next year? Come on, Omar. Let's go. Let's use common sense, dude. Let's use common sense. Who brought in Jacoby Brissett, bro? Who decided to put Three Stooges as an
Chris Greer.
offensive coordinator?
Because he's responsible for all.
He's responsible.
He's responsible for every transaction in the offseason.
He's responsible for the guy. Dude, he did the same thing. What you're not paying attention to is he's no different than Gase and Philbin. No different. The guys he can't agree with, he gets rid of. He got rid of all his veteran players, and he has no veteran coaches. I mean, there's something developing in front of everybody's eyes, and people like you refuse to see it, that this is a guy that can't handle somebody else's opinion. And he gets rid of everybody around him that has any leadership whatsoever. None of his coaches have any leadership. None of them are established. They can't answer back like Chan Gailey could, because Chan Gailey forgot more offense than he'll ever know. All right. And you look at all his players. He got rid of Van Noy. He got rid of the Cousins. He got rid of all the veteran players on this team. He went young, so nobody can answer to him.
The plan was to go young, though.
What I'm told is he walks around that building like Matt Patricia and Josh McDaniels, that he knows everything, and he tells everybody that he knows everything. Okay? Dig into it, my brother. You will find out. He has turned into Matt Patricia. All right? He thinks he knows everything.
It's easy to lump in all Patriots assistants with the same thing, and I'm not saying that things that you
look
said
at the results. Look at it in front of you. Look, it's in front of you. It's happening right in front of your eyes.
The bottom line is, do you win or do you not win?
You don't win. You don't win. You're not getting anywhere, dude. Remember, Wannstedt won 11 games twice and 10 games once. Adam Gase won 10 games. Sperano won 11 games. Don't let that shit blind you. Just because he's got a run here and he saved his ass, he's the one that buried himself from the get-go.
How did he bury
enemy, from the just get-go? Like some of these guys we've had in the past.
Because of coaches? How did he bury himself from the get-go? Because of the coaches that he hired?
Because of the coaches he hired. Exactly. And Brissett and getting rid of the veteran players that he should have kept. Karras. He should have kept Flowers. He should have kept the Emmanuel guy. It would have helped the offensive line. He should have kept Van Noy. He should have kept Bobby McCain at the beginning of the year to help the young safeties transition. But he wanted to get rid of all of these kind of guys. And he wanted to go completely young. It's right in front of you, dude. That's the GM controls the 53. He says what goes and what stays.
No, the coach controls the 53. The GM,
right? I'm sorry. The coach controls the 53. He says who stays and goes, and he's pulled a lot of what Joe Philbin and Adam Gase has pulled. Because I heard the same thing with those guys, and I'm hearing the same thing with this guy. He has walked into the building and he has developed into Josh McDaniels. I'm telling you, it's a fact. Okay. This is a guy that doesn't even like Tua. Okay? Doesn't like Tua.
Listen, I am all of the things that you've said, there's a sprinkling of truth inside them, but does it tell the full story? No. I think every decision that they make in lockstep. They discuss it out. They talk it out. They weigh pros and cons. Do I like every single move that they've made? No. Am I going to say that Flo's responsible for every single move that I don't like? No. Because if that's the case, then Flo's also responsible for the draft picks, since he has so much power and influence and control.
He's influenced a couple of draft picks. He has.
Yes. As he should. Chris Greer has flat out told me, my job is to give the coach what he wants, what he needs to win. That's it. It's very simple.
That's what I fear most, dude. I believe we have one of the best front offices in the NFL with McKenzie and Allen and Greer, and I think they hired the wrong guy. And I'm afraid that the wrong guy, if they stick with him, it'll hurt them in the long run. And that's what I hope they realize. But we'll see. We'll see.
When it's time to fire both. When it's time to fire people, just fire both at the same time. Let's just rip one Band-Aid off. But yeah.
I don't want to do that.
No, you're committed to the front office, and it's
I am totally committed to the front office.
when
I could not be more
they build an
committed.
offensive line, which they've been trying to build for 3 years and done a shitty job, then I'll consider it. But
Come on, dude. Reality, common sense tells you if all the players are developing everywhere else except the O line, Omar. Come on, dude. Come on.
might be talent that you selected. I never liked it.
Really, you think all 5 of them are swings and misses? So you think Pepe Le Pew is actually a really good coach, and it's that they gave him 5 bad linemen?
Did you
So
call him Pepe Le Pew? Are
I've
you
been
kidding me?
I've been calling him Pepe Le Pew forever now. That's kind of we're off to the Casbah, baby. Come on. I mean, what do you want me to call him? Jean-Pierre, but Pepe Le Pew, bro. Let's go. It's kind of a French thing. You know, his whole line stinks. So let's talk about a skunk. Pepe Le Pew. Come on.
And listen, they weren't. Right.
So do you really think they're hitting on all their other picks? They're really not.
The other picks
what picks are playing outside of the O line?
The picks are blossoming. Their picks are blossoming.
No. I'm just saying, what picks are playing outside of the O line and they're flopping? Which ones? Thank you. Durham Smythe is a hit.
Not their pick. Last year.
Okay, but what I'm saying is they're hitting on something late. All their picks are hitting pretty much. They're all productive.
They're young players that are developing.
The guys that are productive aren't playing because there's depth there and there was reasons why they drafted them, whatever. But the O-line, there's no way, Omar, you can imagine that all 5 guys. Plus, I gotta tell you something. I think Dieter will turn into a player, and I've seen enough out of Hunt that I think if you get a really good coach, you can make him something. There's got to be another one of those guys. Another one at least.
Lee has played okay the last couple of weeks.
That's what I'm saying. If you get an O-line coach, you will feel different about some of those guys.
Maybe not.
Have you done what I've done? Have you gone back to go talk to any O-line coaches to ask them about the O-line and the players and the coaching? To go do that because I know you know a couple.
Yeah,
I know it. So call them because I've done it, and it's enlightening what they tell you and how they're being coached and what they're doing. They laugh at what the hell's going on.
How do they know they're being coached?
Hey, Omar, there are people in the building that know that they don't have an O-line coach. Okay? Ask people in the building because they've told me. They're like, I don't even want to talk about that. Okay? That's the kind of response I've gotten from inside the building. I don't even want to talk about that disaster.
Listen.
Okay? That's how they feel about the O-line coach.
Let's hope it gets better because it's weighing this team down like an anvil. And
I know.
They got nowhere to go but up.
I hope so, man, because they got to take care of that quarterback.
They have improved in a lot of categories in regards to pressure. I mean, pressures have been decreased, sacks have decreased. So props to them for stepping up and playing a little bit better. But is it good? Nah, not really.
What are you working on in the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out?
I just wrote something on Michael Dieter, and this is kind of his opportunity to be the center of attention for this offense. And I'm working on a piece actually looking at what my concerns were in the offseason and fast forwarding it to now 13 games and seeing where those concerns were and how it played out this year. Yeah, right. if you follow me, because I was one of the rare people who had the concern of the offensive line, and here we are.
You were on target. 1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah,
kind of
warned everybody that it was going to be dog shit. Everybody.
Because they didn't play very well last year, and everybody was like, "Oh, coaching is going to get them better," and I was just like, I'm not really seeing the talent.
You knew about Pepe Le Pew before us, huh?
No, stop it.
That's what it was.
And when I am assessing what the issues are, I do have to mention Lemieux, Jean-Pierre, and say, hey, I understand this is your first year as an offensive line coach, But it's not just him, because I would argue that just about everybody on the offensive staff is a step above where they should really be.
Oh, no, wasn't this guy coaching kids that were squeezing pimples before they lined up in
No, he was an understudy for the best offensive line coach in the NFL. Guy used to be coach of the Raiders.
Cable?
Cable, yes.
Tom Cable? Okay.
Yes. He's a Tom Cable protege, and it's just hasn't panned out. It just hasn't.
That apple fell really far from the tree.
Stop. Let's not.
Holy crap. It fell off the tree. It rolled down a hill. It went over a cliff. It got taken by a river all the way down into a waterfall that then fell into a whirlpool that led into the abyss, into the center of the earth.
It's gotten better. It's not good, but it's gotten better. If they can, I'll say this. If they can run the ball consistently, let's get to 3.8 yards per carry for the final 4 games, they'll produce a winning record. And to me, the winning record is the bar, is the goal, should be the expectation. And despite their crappy start, they're on pace to do that if they can take care of business. And that's not easy to do in the NFL.
Just keep the quarterback alive, please. That's all I'm asking. Just keep the quarterback alive. God. They got a chance on hitting on something they haven't hit on since 1983.
Yeah.
They haven't hit on a quarterback since 1983.
And he talked about... I
don't want this line to ruin the only...
talked about playing... Well, kind of can't say they haven't hit because Ryan is still an NFL starter. But anyway. But Tua talked about he needs to play better. He needs to play more consistent. He's cut out that interception, and now he talked about third down throws and improving and finding the open receivers and hitting the open receiver. I love Tua because he has a higher standard for himself than his own fan base has for him.
Because he's a great quarterback. That's why. He's a great quarterback in the making. He is getting better under the worst scenarios possible as a rookie. He came off a hip surgery with no offseason, and people still slammed the kid after last year. And now he has still no help on the O-line, and he is finding a way to learn how to play under chaos and make people better. And once you give him a line and give him a running game,
that's what the quarterbacks do.
He will then end up becoming the superstar that he can be easily in this league. But you've got to give him support, dude. Joe Montana had support, and Terry Bradshaw had support, and all the great quarterbacks. When Mahomes is great is because he has support. When he's not great, like last year, he gets his ass kicked because he didn't have an O-line. Doesn't matter who you are, dude. You got to have that support. If Tua gets that support, he has shown you that he – put it this way, Josh Allen can't do what he's doing right now in the same scenario. He would make all kinds of mistakes because he's not accurate. And all those short passes that they're talking about, he would have had several turnovers on those passes.
The same offense, but I hear you.
No, I know, but you run – if he tries to run this offense, he would make a ton more mistakes than even Tua has at this point because he's not as accurate. At least that's the way I see it. Anyway, all right. Have a great weekend, my brother. I appreciate you as always. We will catch up on Monday as they get ready for the stinking Jets.
You too. All right, Leo.
You got it. There you go. Omar Kelly and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.